Are you going to listen? Hari Om all. I take it we are all ready for this evening's satsang. We'll begin with preliminaries and purification. Sprinkle water on yourselves and around you. Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvavasthangatopi va yah smaret pundarikaksham sabahyabhyantaraha suchi. Now sip water from the palm of the right hand 3 times, meditating on Bhagwan's form. Om Keshivaya Namaha. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Rinse your hands while continuing to think about Bhagwan. Om Hrishikeshaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Madhusudanaye Namaha. Put on a kus ring on the ring finger of your right hand. Om Pavitre Stho Vaishnavyo Saviturva Prasva Utpunamya Chidrena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmabhihi Tasya Te Pavitra Pate Pavitra Putasya Yat Kamaha Punet Tatchakyeyam. Using the thumb of the right hand, apply a chandan tika to your forehead. Om Chandanam Bandate Nityam Pavitram Papanashanam Apadam Hrite Nityam Lakshmir Vasati Sarvada. Light your Lakshmi lamp, your chirag, if it is not already lit. Om Bhodhipa Tvam Brahma Rupa Andhakara Nivaraka Imam Maya Kritang Pujang Grihas Tejo Pravardhaya Om Deepaya Namaha. Sprinkle some water on the Vedi. Om Prithvi Tvaya Dhrita Loka Devi Tvan Vishnuna Dhrita Tvancha Dharya Mandevi Pavitram Kuru Chasanam. We are now going to begin with Ved mantras. It should appear on your screen and you can follow and join in the recital, the recitation of these mantras. Om 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 Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Dhyanamoolam Gurur Murtihi Puja Moolam Guru Padam Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. Om Swasti na Indro Vridashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarikshorarisht nemihi Swasti no Brihaspatirdadhatu. Om Payah Prithivyam Payah Oshadhishu Payo Divyantarikshe Payodhaha Payaswati Pradishah Santu Mashyam. Om Vishnoratamasi Vishno Snaptrestho Vishno Surasi Vishno Dhruvasi Vaishnavamasi Vishnavitva. Om Agnir Devata Vato Devata Suryo Devata Chandrama Devata Vasavo Devata Rudra Devata Ditya Devata Maruto Devata Vishwe Deva Devata Brihaspatir Devatendra Devata Varuno Devata. Om Dyoho Shantirantariksha Shanti Prithivi Shantir Apah Shantir Oshadhayah Shanti Vanaspatayah Shantir Vishvedevah Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagun Shanti Shantireva Shantihi Sama Shantiredhi. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasua Tadbhadrang Tanna Asua Sushantir Bhavatu. Om Ano Bhadraha Kratavo Yantu Vishwato Tabdha Swaparitasa Udbhidah Devano Yatha Sadamidbridhe Asanna Prayuvo Rakshitaro Dive Dive. Om Devanam Bhadra Sumatirrijuyatan Devanagvang Ratirabhino Nivartatam Devanagvang Sakyam Upasedima Vayan Devan Ayuhu Pratirantu Jivase. Om Tan Purvaya Nividahu Mahevayam Bakam Mitram अदितिं दक्षमस्त्रिधम् अर्यमनं वरुणगुं सोममश्विना सरस्वती नः सुभगामयस्करात् ॐ तन्नो वातो मयो भुवातु भेषजं तन्माता पृथिवी तत्पिताद्योः तद्ग्रावाणः सोमसुतो मयो भुवस्तदश्विना शृणुतन्धिष्ण्यायुवम् ॐ तमीशानं जगतस्तस्तु शस्पतिं धियन् जिन्वमवसेहुमहे वयम् पूषाणो यथा वेद साम सद्वृधे रक्षिता पायुर्दब्धः स्वस्तये ॐ स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृदश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्योररिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ पृषदश्वा मरुतः पृश्निमातरः शुभं यावानो विदथेषु जग्मयः अग्निजिह्वा मनवः सूरचक्षसो विश्वेनो देव अवसागमन्निः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्ट्वाग्वंसस्तनुभिर्व्यशेमहि देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शतमिन्नो शरदो अन्तिदेवा यत्रानश्चक्राजरसन्तनूनां पुत्रासो यत्र पितरो भवन्ति मानो मद्यारि कृषतार्युर्गन्तोः ॐ अदितिर्द्योरदितिर् अन्तरिक्षम् अदितिर्माता स पिता स पुत्रः विश्वे देवा अदितिः पञ्चजना अदितिर्जातम् अदितिर्जनित्वम् ॐ ऋचं वाचं प्रपद्ये मनो यजुः प्रपद्ये साम प्राणं प्रपद्ये चक्षुश्रोत्रं प्रपद्ये वागोजः सहोजो मयि प्राणपानौ ॐ तं पत्नीभिरनुगच्छेम देवाः पुत्रैर्भ्रातृभिरुत वा हिरण्यैः नाकं गृभनानः सुकृतस्य लोके तृतीये पृष्ठे अधिरोचने दिवः ॐ आयुष्यं वर्चस्य ग्वं रायस्पोषमोद्भिदम् इदग्वं हिरण्यं वर्चस्व चैत्राय विशताद्युमाम् ॐ द्योः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगुं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरौषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वगुं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ यतो यतः समीहसे ततो नो अभयं कुरु शन्नः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयन्नः पशुभ्यः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः सुशान्तिर्भवतु ॐ हे हे रम्ब तुमे हि अंबिका त्र्यंबकात्मज सिद्धि बुद्धि पते त्र्यक्ष लक्ष लाभ पितुः पितः नागास्य नागहारत्वं गणराजा चतुर्भुजः भूषितः स्वायुधे दिव्यैः आशाङ्कुशपरश्वधेः आवाहयामि पूजार्थं रक्षार्थं च मम कृतोः इहागत्य गृहाणत्वं पूजां कर्तुं च रक्ष मे ॐ मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं चितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयुक्तमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये अञ्जनीगर्भसम्भूतं कपीन्द्रं सच्चिवोक्तमं रामप्रियं नमस्तुभ्यं हनुमान् रक्ष सर्वदा ॐ ध्यायेदाजानुबाहुं धृतशरधनुषं बद्धपद्मासनस्थं पीतं वासोवसानं नवकमलदलस्पर्धिनेत्रं प्रसन्नं वामाङ्कारूढ सीतामुखकमलमिललोचनं नीरदाभन्नाना अलङ्कारदीप्तं ददतमुरुजटमण्डलं रामचन्द्रं ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुनुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदै साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्तीं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थित तत्कतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगण देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ शान्तं पद्मासनस्थं शशधरमुकुटं पञ्चवक्त्रं त्रिनेत्रं शूलं वज्रं च खड्गं परशुम् अभयदं दक्षिणाङ्गे वहन्तं नागपाशं च घण्टां डमरुकसहितम् अङ्कुशं वामभागे नाना अलङ्कारदीप्तं स्फटिकमणिनिभं पार्वतीशं नमामि। ॐ या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्म अच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापः। ॐ लक्ष्मी क्षीरसमुद्रराजतनया श्रीरङ्गधामेश्वरीं दासीभूतसमस्तदेववनितां लोकैकदीपाङ्कुरां श्रीमन्मन्दकटाक्षलब्धविभव ब्रह्मेन्द्रगङ्गाधरान् तान् त्रैलोक्यकुटुम्बिनीं सरसिजां वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियाम्। ॐ सीताराम पवनसुत हनुमान राधे कृष्ण की जय। अच्छा, अब हनुमान चालीसा और भजन होगा।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनो रघुवर विमल यश जो दायक फल चार बुद्धहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत तुलित बलरामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमद निवार कंचन वरण विराजत वेशा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा हाथ ब्रजर ध्वजा विराजे कांटे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिया विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे शारद सहित ईशा यम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव कीना राम मिलाए राजपद दीना तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर वै सब जग जाना युग सहस्र योजन बल भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर बल जानो प्रभु मुद्रिका मेरी मुख माही चरज लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे देते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होठ न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना अपना तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक काटते काबे ऊँट पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नाशे रोग हरे सब पीरा पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति रो राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवर रानी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। ओम सीताराम पवन सुत हनुमान राधे कृष्ण की जय।
Now we are reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 23. I'm hoping that all of you are going to join in. The text is appearing on the screen in front of you. It's good practice for reading Bhagavad Gita. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Tam vidyad dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sangitam sanischayena yoktavyo yogo anirvana chetasa. Again, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Tam vidyad dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sangitam sa nischayena yoktavyo yogo nirvina chetasa. We'll read it once more, a little bit faster. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Tam vidyad dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sangitam sa nischayena yoktavyo yogo nirvana chetasa. So before I explain, just to recap, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we read in Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan is explaining that a person whose mind is under control and he attained this sense of calm associated with the divine. That means his mind is fully in yoga with the divine. And that infinite bliss that he's talking about leads to a state, a condition, which he's further describing today. So let's look at this verse. Vidyat tam. Vidyat means know, tam, know that. Viyoga. Viyogam means separation. Dukkha sanyoga. Dukkha sanyoga, separation from pain in yoga. Sir, that yoga, so know that yoga, yoktavya, it must be practiced. How must it be practiced? Nischayena. Nischayena, with firm resolve, with determination. You must be unshakable in your practice. Anirvana chetaya. That means nirvana, means with a steady mind, chetaya, and without despair, without giving up, without deviation. तो यहाँ भगवान कहते हैं कि जो दुख के संयोग से रहित है वह योग है. योग उस स्थिति है जिसमें दुख नहीं है. उस योग को अभ्यास करना चाहिए. इट मस्ट बी प्रैक्टिस्ड. धैर्य और उत्साह चित्त से निश्चय पूर्वक करना चाहिए. So Bhagwan is describing that condition we said when we are in infinite bliss, when we are in constant touch with the divine. So he says the separation from the union with pain is yoga. So when we are free from pain, this pain in the material world, that freedom, that state is called yoga. That yoga must be practiced with firm resolve and determination and with a steady mind. So, in such a state, is sthiti mein, that means free from dukh relating to the material world, free from the suffering of the material world, does that yogi then not engage in activities of the body and worldly activities? So if If you are free from this state of associating with the suffering of the material world, and if you are constantly focused on the divine, does that mean you must stop all your activities? उस स्थिति में उसके शरीर, मन, इंद्रिय और सब कर्म होते हैं. So in that condition, even free from the suffering associated with the material world, such a person still engages his mind, his body, his senses, and engages in all the activities of the world. वो चलता है, वो देखता है, बोलता है, सुनता है, सोचता है, पर उसके ज्ञान में सिर्फ परमात्मा है. So he does all of this. He walks, he talks, he engages with people, he eats, he sleeps, he breathes, he engages in his everyday activities. He does all of this. But, and this is the key, his mind is constantly focused on the Lord. कर्म से वह संबंध नहीं है. He doesn't have any relationship with the activities. He has a relationship with God. The activities are a natural part of his being, but his focus is completely on the Lord. So he will be experiencing divinity through all of these activities. And I'm going to try as best as I can to use an example to explain this. So a person gets up in the morning and he decides, or she decides, what to cook for the day. Okay? So the thinking is involved in the decision making. That decision making he engages in. Then he says, once he's decided on what he has to cook, then he or she will check whether they have all the ingredients. And whatever is missing, they will make a trip to the grocery store or the vegetable dealer or whoever to buy the necessary groceries and other requirements to cook. He brings all those ingredients back and he prepares the ingredients according to the correct method. They're following a recipe, if you want to call it that. So in other words, he's doing all of these activities, which are considered to be mundane activities. And then he cooks the food. And finally, when the food is cooked, he offers it to Bhagwan. But right from the decision making, through each step, buying the groceries, checking what's missing, buying the groceries, cooking the food, preparing all the requirements, through every step, his goal was to prepare this for Bhagwan, to prepare this for the Lord. So throughout, from the thinking, the decision making, to the cooking, to the buying, all the preparation, his mind was focused on the divine. His sole purpose throughout this was to please the Lord. In other words, he engaged in all of these mundane activities without being involved in the mundane activities. His mind was involved in Bhagwan. So the thing that we need to consider is, can we experience this divinity only when we are in a state of comfort, when there is no difficulty? What about when there is misery in our lives? What about when there is some kind of loss? When there is illness? When there is poverty? When we are mourning a death? When there is bereavement? In all these situations, can we still experience this divinity? And in this verse, Bhagwan makes it very, very clear. Sri Krishna says in this verse that when established in this bliss, in this state of continuously thinking of the Lord, when you are in that blissful state, the yogi is not affected by even the greatest sorrow. तो सबसे भारी दुख से भी उसका मन चलायमान नहीं होता है, मन सिर्फ भगवान पर ध्यान देता है. So the mind is completely fixed on the Lord, even in the difficulties, even in the most sorrowful state. And that is what this verse is telling you. So this verse is actually saying, if you are constantly devoted to Bhagwan, constantly thinking of Him, the greatest sorrows in your life become insignificant. You do not associate with those sorrows. Just like how, when you were engaging in all these mundane activities, you did not associate with the activities, but you associated with the Lord. So, when we are in the state of freedom, in this yoga, when we are completely immersed in the Lord, then all the difficulties become insignificant. So, this is where we're going to stop the Bhagavad Gita for today. We're now going to go on to Ramayana. And today we are reading Balkand, Doha number 264. But first, we'll begin with Chehi Sumirat Siddhi Hoy. Again, I'd appeal to all of you to join in. Jehi Sumirat Siddhi Hoy Sitaram Gananayak Karivar Badana Karau Anugraha Soy Sitaram Buddhirasi Subhaguna Sadhana Mukha Hoi Vachal Sitaram Pangu Chadhe Girivar Gahana Jasu Kripa Sudayal Sitaram Prabhu Sakal Kalimal Dahana Nil Saroruhu Sham Sitaram Tarun Arun Barij Nayana Karo Sumam Uradham Sitaram Sada Kshir Sagar Sayana Kund Indu Samadeha Sitaram Umaraman Karuna Ayana Jahidin Paraneha Sitaram Karo Kripa Mardana Mayana Bandhau Guru Padakanja Sitaram Kripa Sindhunar Rupa Hari Mahamohatam Punja Sitaram Jasu Bachan Ravi Karanikara सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय कथा आरंभ होत है सुनहु वीर हनुमान आसन को प्रभु आइए सिया सखा सहित भगवान सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय रघुबर पुर जयमाल देखि देव बरि सही सुमन सकुचे सकल भुआल जन बिलो की रवि कुमुद गन सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय सिया डाले राम गल जय माला 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 पुरु अरु व्योम बाजने बाजे खल भय मलिन साधु सब राजे सुर किन्नर नर नाग मुनीसा जय 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 कहि देहि असीसा नाचहि गावहि विबुध प्रथुति बार बार कुसुमंजलि छूटी चाहतः विप्र वेद धुनि करहि बंदी बिरीदावली उच्चरहि सिया डाले राम गल जय माला सिया डाले राम गल जय माला सिया डाले राम गल जय माला सिय डाले राम गल जय माला, महिपताल नाक जसु व्यापा, राम बरी सिय भंज चापा, करही आरती पुर नर नारी, देहि निछावरी बित बिसारी, सोहति सिय राम के जोरी, छवि सिंगारु मनहु एक ठोरी, सखिम सही सखिम कहहि प्रभु पद गहु सीता, करति न चरण परस अति भीता, सिय डाले राम गल जय माला, सिय डाले राम गल जय माला, सिय डाले राम गल जय माला, सिय डाले राम गल जय माला। गौतम तिय गति सुरति करी, नहीं पर सती पग पानी, मन बिहसे रघुवंश मनी, प्रीति अलौकिक जान सियावर, रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। सो अभी श्री रघुनाथ जी के हृदय पर जयमाला देखकर, so the gardens have been put on to Sri Ramchandra ji. Sita ji has put on the garland on Ramchandra ji after he has broken the bow. और उसको देखकर, seeing that, देवता फूल बरसाने लगे. All the devatas began to shower flowers as part of their celebration of this wonderful marriage that is going to take place. So the devatas were very pleased with this union. समस्त राजागण इस प्रकार सकुचा गए, मानो सूर्य को देखकर कुमुदों का समूह सिकुड़ गया. So all the kings who were present there, remember they were mighty kings. They all looked very powerful in size as well. They all had a great deal of power in their own kingdoms. But here, a small looking, young and tender Sri Ramchandra ji had broken the bow, which they were not even able to lift, to shake, to move. So, where Sakucha gaye, they were ashamed. They began to wilt in embarrassment. It was as if when a lily is exposed to bright sunshine, it begins to wilt. Just like that, the kings wilted in embarrassment, that with all the power and all the bragging that they engaged in, they were not able to break this bow. पुर अरु व्योम बाजने बाजे. So नगर और आकाश में बाजे बजने लगे. So the celebrations were not restricted only to Janakpur, where this incident took place, where this event took place, where the Swayamvar took place, but in the district Nagar mein, but also in the Akash, in the skies, the Devtas. How were they celebrating? Baje bajne lage. They were playing musical instruments in celebration. और दुष्ट लोग उदास हो गए और सज्जन लोग सब प्रसन्न हो गए. All the evil forces, dushta, they were very unhappy. They were sad at the fact that Sri Ram and Sita had become a match for each other, had been paired together, that they are going to marry, and that Sri Ram had broken the bow in the Swayamvar. But the Sajjan, the good people, the pious people, were sab prasann ho gaye. They were very happy. So the reaction to this incident, to this breaking of the bow and the putting on of the garland to Ramchandra ji, the reaction of the people depended on their own perceptions. So some were happy for Sri Ram and Sita. What was the reason for the happiness? That Sri Ram and Sita were coming together. They were also happy for Raja Dashrath and Janak. Again, what was the reason for the happiness? That Raja Dashrath was going to get a daughter-in-law, and Janak is going to marry his daughter, which is considered to be a very pious act. He's going to marry off his daughter to a good groom, right? So on the material level, the happiness that these sajjans felt was based on how others felt. That means the happiness was not how they, that what happened to them. The happiness was that these two people are coming together. That means somebody else was the source of the happiness. The happiness was that Raja Dashrath and Janakji were going to be related by the marriage of the children. They were not happy because what was happening to them. But what was, that means there was no selfishness in their happiness. It wasn't about themselves, it was about others. It was not based on minus. And that is why they are called sajjan. A good soul will be happy when others progress. But those who, the dushtalog, the evil beings, they were unhappy. What was the unhappiness based on? Unhappiness based on? They were based on their own feelings, on their own thoughts. What happened to them? So, for example, if my neighbor progresses, if I am unhappy, it is because his progress is more than my progress. In other words, I'm comparing it to my own self. That is a selfish reason, right? They they are unhappy because they lost in the Swayamvar. They are embarrassed that they have not been as good as Sri Ram. So all of these reasons were the cause of their unhappiness. So if you compare the Sajjan with the good souls, the good souls with the Dusht, the evil souls, the reason for how they felt was based on, in case of the evil being, their own perception, their own feelings. Whereas those who were good souls were happy for others' happiness. So we should all be happy when others are progressing, when others are successful, when others are celebrating. So when there is progress in people's lives, we shouldn't compare that with ourselves and say, why couldn't we achieve that? We should say, how nice they have achieved it. We should be happy for them. And in our happiness, we will find the motivation to ourselves do even better in the future. Okay? So, na chahi gawahi vibudh badhuti, बार बार कुसुमान जसी छूटी. So, देवताओं की स्त्रियां नाचती गाती है. The wives of all the devtas, they were dancing and singing. They were again happy for others. There was no jealousy. There was no jealousy. None of the wives said, why did Ramchandraji choose Sita? Why didn't they choose one of us? They were happy for their progress. बार बार हाथों से पुष्पों की अंजुलियां छूट रही है. And over again, they are showering flowers. Right? जहां तहां ब्राह्मण वेद ध्वनि कर रहे हैं. And the Brahmins, those who are evolved in the terms of good behavior and who have knowledge of the Vedas, they, wherever they were, they began to recite Ved mantras. So whenever there is celebration in our lives, it is good to have Ved mantras. So, for example, if somebody is getting married, we shouldn't just say, okay, put your rings on and you all are married. There's no Ved mantras involved there. There must be Ved mantras recited. That is why in Hindu culture, in Sanatan culture, we have special mantras that are recited when people are getting married. Okay? So on all happy occasions, when a child is born, we should recite Ved mantras as well. And if you read Mahabharata and if you read Bhagavatam, even in the Ramayana, you'll find when Ramchandra was born, they recited Ved mantras. When Sri Krishna was born, they recited Ved mantras. और भाट लोग विरुदावली बखान कर रहे हैं. And Bhat, the praise singers, the people who know about the family history, they are singing the praises of the family, Kul Kirti, the greatness of each family. So those who know about Raja Chanak are talking about his greatness, and those who know about the groom and his family, Dashrath, they are talking about their greatness. Okay? पृथ्वी पाताल और स्वर्ग तीनों लोकों में यश फैल गया कि श्री रामचंद्र जी धनुष तोड़ दिया. So in the three spheres, Prithvi, Patal and Swarg, earth, the lower regions and the heavenly regions, the greatness of this, the fame that Ramchandra ji achieved in breaking this bow had spread throughout the creation. और सीता जी को वरण कर लिया. Not only that he broke the bow, but that he and Sita ji had accepted each other. नगर के नर नारी आरती कर रहे हैं. And the people of the village, the district, Nagar, they are doing arti. You know, arti is you take a little lamp and you turn it around the bride and groom as a sign of auspiciousness and to remove any negativity. और अपनी पूंजी या हसीयत को भुलाकर या समर्थ्य से बहुत अधिक निछावर कर रहे हैं. And they are giving gifts beyond their ability. They have forgotten their own financial situation. In their joy, they are presenting gifts more than they can really afford. Right? So when we say presenting gifts more than we can really afford, we do not mean that we should repeat this in the material sense. But when we give a gift, it must be so full of love that people perceive it, the people receiving it, perceive it as you have given more than I actually deserve. You have given more than you actually have. You have given all your love. Okay, that's what this gift is supposed to symbolize. सोहत इसी राम के जोरी छवि सिंगारू मनहु कठोरी. And how did these two look? सीता राम जी की जोड़ी ऐसी सुशोभित हो रही है मानो सुंदरता और श्रृंगार रस एकत्र हो गए. So when you see these two, Sri Ram and Sita together, then it seems as if beauty and love have come together and taken on a physical form. Beauty has taken on a physical form, and love has taken on a physical form, and that beauty and love is in the form of Ram and Sita. Sakya kah rahi hai, and her friends, Sita's friends, are saying, Swami ke charan chuo, touch the feet of your Lord, of the Lord Sri Ram. किंतु सीता जी अत्यंत भयभीत हुई और उनके चरण नहीं छूती है. But Sita was extremely afraid and did not touch Sri Ram's feet. And the Doha explains what she was afraid of. गौतम जी के स्त्री अहल्या की गति का स्मरण करके सीता जी श्री राम जी के चरणों को हाथ से स्पर्श नहीं कर रही है. She did not touch his feet because she remembered that when Ramchandra ji put his foot on the stone, that stone took on the form of a human being, of Ahilya. So there was this great, according to her thought now, great magic in Sri Ramchandra ji's feet. What if she turns into some other form? So for this reason, she did not touch his feet. सीता जी की अलौकिक प्रीति जानकर रघुकुल मणि श्री रामचंद्र जी मन में हंसे. So Ramchandra ji recognized this love that Sita ji had that cannot be described. And recognizing it, he smiled within himself. So this is where we are going to pause today. And I'm sure in the next week, we will all be so eager to hear more details of the wedding preparations and the wedding that is going to take place. कथा विसर्जन होत है, सुनो वीर हनुमान, आसन को प्रभु जाइए, सिया सखा सहित भगवान सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय. We'll have bhajans now.
राम लड्डू गोपाल नाम जी, हरि राम मिश्री तो गोल गोल भी. राम राम लड्डू गोपाल नाम जी, हरि राम मिश्री तो गोल गोल भी. हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे. राम तेरे मन में तो श्याम जीवन में, कटे हैं भक्तों के संगत क्षण में. राम तेरे मन में तो श्याम जीवन में, कटे हैं भक्तों के संगत क्षण में. ध्यान से सुनो ये बात बड़े काम की, हरि नाम मिश्री तो गोल गोल पी. राम नाम लड्डू गोपाल नाम की, हरि राम मिश्री तो गोल गोल पी. हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे. मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम है श्री राम जी, प्रेम के सागर है गण धन श्याम जी. मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम है श्री राम जी, प्रेम के सागर है गण धन श्याम जी. माल जपो सुबह शाम इनके नाम की, हरि नाम मिश्री तो गोल गोल की. राम नाम लड्डू गोपाल नाम की, हरि नाम मिश्री तो गोल गोल की. हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे. ओम सीताराम पवन सुत हनुमान, राधे कृष्ण की जय.
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्, अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्, राम नारायणं जानकी वल्लभं, राम नारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्. अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्, अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्, राम नारायणं जानकी वल्लभं, राम नारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्. अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं, कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं, बेर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं, बेर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं। अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं, अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं, रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्। कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं, कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं, माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं, माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं। अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्। कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं, कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं, तुम गोपी के जैसे नचाते नहीं, तुम गोपियों के जैसे नचाते नहीं। अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं, रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं, रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्। ॐ सीताराम पवन सुत हनुमान राधे कृष्ण की जय।
जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी, जय जगदीश हरे। भक्तजनों के संकट, भक्तजनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। जय जगदीश हरे, जो जावे पद पावे, सुख विलसे मन का, स्वामी दुख विलसे। सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, धन का। जय जगदीश हरे, मात पिता शरण गहूँ किसकी, स्वामी शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी। तुम बिना और न दूजा, तुम बिना और न दूजा, बात करो जिसकी। जय जगदीश हरे, तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी, स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी। पार ब्रह्मा परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्मा परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन धरता, स्वामी तुम पालन धरता। मैं मूरख कनकामी, मैं मूरख कनकामी, कृपा करो वरदान।
ॐ कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। ॐ मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्ष मङ्गलाय तनोहरि। ॐ सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तु ते नारायणी नमोऽस्तु ते नारायणी नमोऽस्तु ते। ॐ यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। विसर्जन। ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते अहर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मामत्वा क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। आवाहनं न जानामि विसर्जनं पूजां चैव न जानामि क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष त्वां परमेश्वर। बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। जगत जननी पार्वती माता की जय। श्री सीता रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री लक्ष्मण जी की जय। श्री महावीर स्वामी बजरंग बली की जय। श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की जय। शिव शंकर भगवान पार्वती माता की जय। गंगा माता की जय। यमुना माता की जय। गौरी माता काली माता दुर्गा माता लक्ष्मी माता सरस्वती माता की जय। ॐ नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हर। जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। जय श्री राम।